Yo, 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 what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you, all right? So check this out. In this video, I want to talk about the best stock to trade for small accounts, for mid-size accounts, for accounts that you're trying to bounce back, okay? Right? Even large accounts. This is one of the best stocks to trade, all right? So we're going to get into this right here. Now, before I let you know the actual best stock, right? I want you to understand this right here, okay? Um, no matter where you're at in your journey, you're gonna have your go-tos, right? So you're gonna have your go-tos. So I remember when I first started trading, some of y'all know this, when I started putting out videos on YouTube about stocks, I was trading Palantir almost every day, right? And then I had a time where I was trading Hood every day. But this stock right here, this is about to be this is an everyday stock that I've been trading lately. But this stock is going to be one of my go-tos every single day. It's on my watch list no matter what, right? And the reason being is because it always gives good moves. It's extremely cheap, right? And you can make a lot of money with this stock, all right? So we traded this stock today. We traded IWM today. All right. Hit IWM a couple different times, right? Got like 35% return. Okay. But I want you to understand the stock is IWM. All right. Now, when we look at IWM, it is a ETF, right? It's an ETF. It's the Russell 2000. So what the IWM does is just like the SPY, right? The SPY, it has the top 500 companies in the U.S., right? U.S. stock market. The Russell 2000 holds ETFs, but it's for small cap stocks. So it's publicly traded companies, but it's small cap stocks, which is just smaller companies. Okay. So what this does is, when you're trading an ETF, you have the opportunity to trade zero data expirations, right? And you also have the opportunity to trade tomorrow expirations, a week out expirations, right? So that's what I love, because you have a little bit more flexibility. So if you have a small account of, let's say you got $300, you can trade the IWM and make great returns and then make some solid money, right? If you have a big account, you can make great money as well. If you have a mid-sized account, you can make great money. If you lost a lot of money, you could come back to IWM and you could build your account back up through IWM and get your confidence back up. Another reason why I like IWM is because the way it moves, it trends, okay? Once you learn IWM and you understand where it's at, once again, you can make big money, okay? So I'm gonna break down their contracts because I wanna give you guys a visual of this stuff, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the charts and to the Webull, and I'm gonna show y'all some stuff, right? So first, look at IWM right here, okay? They just trended all day today, right? I'm actually mad I didn't get into this put right here. This right here would have got me, a whole bunch of money, right? This would have got me a nice move right here. All right, probably would have hit like 30% from 225.43 to 225.11. That probably would have been 40-50%. All right, but so it was trending today, right? Yesterday, big moves, right? Look at these moves. Boom, boom. That's big moves right there. Look at this move today, right? Boom, right? Big moves right there. Look at a couple days ago, right? Boom. This was ugly price action, but it still trended upward. Okay, look at this move. Boom, right here to the downside. Very nice, okay? Boom, this was ugly price action, but look at this right here. Boom. Nice right here, right? Nice trend. That's on the 15-minute. If you look at the 30-minute, it's going to look a little bit different, but look at that, okay? Look at this. Boom, sell off, consolidation, bear flag, boom, right? End of the day, sell off. Let's go right here. Boom, right? Came down, blasted up. All right, look at these moves, y'all. Look at this one. Came down here, and then look, whoo, it went from 207 to 263, okay? Look at these moves. These are solid moves right here, okay? Breakout on a 30-minute, boom, right? First 30 minutes of the candle, boom. And then the last hour of the market, boom, right? Came down. So when you understand what's going on, you can say, okay, I could trade this almost every day. I could trade this stock almost every day because it's going to give you some moves. And when you factor in 0 data expirations, you can make 20% on a 0 data expiration off of a 20-cent move on IWM, right? If you get weekly expiration contracts on a regular stock, that same move may have only been 5%, 8%. You see what I'm saying? So if you get a solid move on IWM on 0 data expirations, you can literally make big money, right? And you don't need you don't need a big move, right? Now, another thing that I like about IWM is it doesn't move crazy like SPY. When I first started trading, I tried to trade SPY. I didn't like it because it was harsh, right? The rejections were harsh. The movements were harsh. So if you're on the wrong side of the trade on SPY, it'd be harsh. But with IWM, it'd be real smooth, all right? It's going to give you some opportunities to kind of reverse or get out your trade or, get in or whatever the case may be. And it makes solid moves, all right? And it's cheap. So let's go to Webull and let me put this in perspective for you guys. All right, so check this out. So we got Webull right here, right? So this is IWM, okay? Right now the stock is at 225.26. So look, at the money contracts right here, right, are 50 cents. Well, $50. Okay, $50. And then on puts, they're $86, right? Or $27. For one contract, that's cheap. So you can get 10 contracts, go put $250 in a trade, right? You go make 20-30% 0 DTEs and you good, right? Now watch this. This is what I like. Let's say that it don't matter what size account you are. Let's say your account size is 5K, all right? And right now you're like, okay, I want to take this trade. You got $50 contracts, all right? You can get 8 to 10 contracts, right? $400 to $500 on that trade. And then because it's 0 data expirations, you're going to make big money when the stock moves in your direction. And let's say you get 50%, right, on that trade, right? What is 50% of $500? It's $250, right? And let's say your daily goal is $120 a day. You're going to 2x your daily goal off of investing $500 in a trade, right? Because you're using 0 data expirations on a stock on an ETF like IWM, right? So I want you to understand that, because when I first started trading, I was like, okay, if I put $2,000 in trade and I get 10%, that's $200. But I'm exposing myself to way more risk, right? Because if the trade goes bad and I end up 50% down, that's $1,000, right? But if I take 500 and I put it into this trade and I'm down 50%, that's only $250 compared to the $1,000, right? So when you start to think in terms of these percentages, you start to understand like, oh, wow, right? And let's say you want a little bit more cushion, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to do the next day expiration. It's not going to move as fast. It'll still move, but you're going to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room and cushion, and the theta is not going to get eaten up as much, right? But this is why I love trading IWM, because don't matter if you blew your account, you don't have a lot of money, you got a small account, you got a medium-sized account, you got a larger account, you can trade IWM every day, and in a year span, you could go make 6 figures just off of IWM. So that's why every day it's on my list and it's on my watch list, because how it moves, the moves that it gives you, right? Once you see the direction, it's out of there, okay? And if you're patient enough, you can make big money with IWM. All right. And I sincerely mean that, right? This literally has become one of my favorites to trade. I was traumatized. When I first thought I was traumatized, I remember one day in the beginning, I lost like $500-700 with SPY. And I was like, I don't like this ETF stuff. And I started getting better success with individual stocks. So I stayed away from ETFs, right? But with IWM, I only have good things to say about IWM, right? Obviously, we all take L's and stuff, but I haven't had a crazy big L with IWM, because I learned how to invest less into my trades, but make more money utilizing 0 day to expirations or the next day expirations. So on a Monday, right, if I trade a weekly contract, let's say I trade Shopify or Apple, right? Let's say I trade a regular stock on Monday and I get the weekly contracts. I would need to go out of the money and know the direction of the stock in order to really like make some solid money, right? Otherwise that contract gonna move a little bit slower because it's in the beginning of the week. Now let's say I want to trade IWM on Monday. I could go pull out 30-40% on IWM on Monday using the 0 day to expirations on Monday, right? While if I would have got a weekly contract, I probably on that same type of move on a regular stock, I would have got maybe, 15-20%. So you can make more money by trading IWM. And I'm not saying this is a random pill, a magic thing. You just go to IWM and you just start printing out money. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you understand this game and you understand how you could be a little bit more strategic with the stocks that you do trade, you will be able to make thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars consistently. All right. So I just wanted to make that, man, that video, break that down. IWM, this is my favorite stock that I like to trade. It's on my watch list every single day. And then I'll couple this with, another stock, 1 or 2 other stocks that I see in the market that could have a move, and then boom, right? So with that being said, man, I hope that made sense. I hope that helped you out. Go check out IWM, go trade it, learn. All right. If you want to trade with us, be sure to click the link in the description and trade with us in the Discord. If you want to get a one-on-one, be sure to click that link as well. And listen, y'all, like I always say, make sure you get up out of your head and go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.